What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Good morning. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing? Thanks, Soren. Good morning. Said, hope we all pick up something useful today, and thanks in advance. That's the right attitude to have. Come in and learn something new. Get 1% better every day. Good morning, Blair. Welcome in. Welcome in. Nice to see you. Let me see here. How's this? Yeah, man. Good morning. Toro Action. Chops. Good morning. Benji, good morning. Welcome in. Nice to see you all back in here. So we're going to get into some analysis today. I don't have too much, guys. I'm going to be straight up with you. All-time highs and all-time highs and all-time highs. It's like every... let me fix my camera here, guys. Sorry. It's like every day I have a very simple game plan lately. Just wake up in full port longs. No, I'm just kidding. Not really. Good morning, Chops B. Welcome in first time. Awesome. Everybody put a W in the chat for him coming in for the first time. Price movement in Asia and London are very small. It's making some pretty decent ranges lately. At least on NQ. NQ's been having some pretty nice ranges. I've been trading NQ a lot more lately. Haven't loved the slower grind action on ES. I go through phases over the years where I trade one or the other more. Lately, the last month or two, I've been more focused on NQ. I've liked the volatility better. I've been catching way higher risk versus reward. Entries have been cleaner for me. So just all around. W means win. It's a win to be here, to learn something. Share my settings for the big trades indicator on deep charts. Yeah, we can do that. Do you guys want to vote in the chat right now? Let me know if you guys want me to have Bookmap on stream today or deep charts. I use both. I use the heat map right now. I still got to get Deep DOM going. Really good tool. Can we post a poll in the chat, guys? Both. I can maybe try. It's going to be hard for me to see. I like to have full screen views of everything, to be honest with you. Deep, deep, deep. We'll get into the analysis here. Quick shout out to our sponsors of the channel, Prop Firm Trader, Apex Trader Funding. 90% off right now. You can't really beat that. And they give you a lot of scale there. You guys know, if you know me, I primarily trade personal capital. I have traded prop firms recently to give people some feedback because I constantly get berated with questions about them. I have traded Apex. I've taken like 5 payouts in the last 4 or 5 weeks. So yes, they will pay you out. Yes, they are legit. And yes, you can use order flow trading. I get berated with questions about that all the time. So Prop Firm Trader as well, check that out. Check out all our sponsors here. We do have giveaways coming out. Let's see. TradeZella as well. And we have a TradeZella account giveaway today as well. Yeah, if you guys are sleeping on my YouTube channel, I dropped a pretty mega order flow trading series, new episode coming out today, which will probably change some people's life if they watch it. The link is in the description down here to my YouTube channel. Let's see. Yeah, I just confirmed with the team. We got Apex account giveaway today, Alpha Capital account giveaway, TradeZella 6-month. If you guys want to be in there for the giveaways, by the way, you're going to have to head over to the Chart Fanatics live Discord. Team, if we could drop that in the chat as well. Giveaways will be in there. So make sure you head over there if you want to be entered for the giveaways today. Thanks, Gabriel. So let's get into it. While we're talking about the poll here, let me go ahead and go through some analysis. So the market's been relentlessly trading all-time highs. So not a ton of reason to go against that on my end here. So the main thing that I'm watching today is we've had this area where we had a significant amount of volume built up yesterday and today, especially around this area here. By the way, this is ES on the left-hand side of my screen and NQ on the right-hand side of my screen with the volume profile and big trades alerts. Somebody asked for my settings for the big trades alerts here on ES and NQ, so I will show you guys that today. Make sure you drop your vote in the chat which one you want to learn on today to read stuff on the poll today. This is my deep chart screen. So looking at the volume profile here, you can see we had a pretty balanced afternoon up there. A lot of big orders occurring, big buying occurring right up there at the highs. And then we've had a pretty balanced area here as well overnight, expanding that range slightly. So I'm looking at this range here. And then specifically here in the pre-market, we've seen a lot of big selling trying to break back down. And that has been unsuccessful and absorbed. So the main thing that I'm watching here on both is these value areas of this range, and especially, and look at that big seller that got absorbed there too. If we see dips to the lows of that, hold an aggressive buying, step back in, I'll look to scalp it back to the upside. Again, basically in these conditions, guys, I'm long until proven otherwise. We also have another low volume node down there we can see on the volume profile. So that's an area that was aggressively defended, and we see that pull back right into that low volume node there. Got aggressively bought, shot straight back into the highs. Look at that. So I'll be watching that if we pull back there as well. And then obviously if we break out the highs and continue to hold, this is, I'm not a big breakout trader. I'm mainly a reversal trader. But I do trade momentum setups like ORB type setups. I do trade breakout setups. It's just a little less frequent for me. But just given the conditions, if we have a strong breakout and we strongly continue this rally here, then I'm not going to fight it. I'll look for pullbacks to go along with it. Generally speaking, those are like 3-foot putts for me. I'll hold and trail with the move. Like I caught multiple like 40-point scalps on NQ yesterday. One of the breakouts of the high yesterday, I caught for 40 points. I think I was risking maybe 5 points on NQ. So yesterday was a banger. And basically when I do that, when I catch that breakout and the momentum goes to the upside, I'm immediately trailing my risk with it. If it takes me out break even, so be it, I can re-enter. So that's the game plan in a nutshell, guys. There's a couple key areas at the value area low and low volume nodes here. If we do shift structure and some strong selling comes in today and we fail under some of those levels, I'm not saying I won't fade pops if we get some strong momentum to the downside today, reversing. But it's counter trend, lower quality. I'm going to need to see more confirmations, and I'm going to be more hesitant to do that. That makes sense. Below this, if we do retrace though, I don't really see much along here until we get to some of these areas where some big orders came in. All right, what's the pull at here? Oh man, it's so split. It's very closely split. I was hoping there was going to be like a really obvious winner here, guys. Not making it easy on me. All right. Looking at the chats. Matt, would you consider if we break under 75.81 on ES and hold to go short for a scalp? Yeah, that's kind of what I just showed right here. But it's counter trend, and you know, be mindful of that. We could see a quick drop down under that if we do break, but like I said, I'm kind of focused on longs until proven otherwise. The ball is in the buyer's court. They've had complete control. The news accelerated this thing back to the upside again yesterday of the Iran peace deal. Sorry, guys. Mowers outside my window. Mowers at my house. It is literally 50-50 on the poll. We need more votes in the poll, guys. We need more votes in the poll. It's literally 50-50. I wasn't expecting it to be that split 50-50. All right, so let's take a look here. I was pretty much bullish from the get-go yesterday. I'll give you guys some reason why. I was basically only looking for longs yesterday. I'll show you the analysis why here. Let me expand my screen here. So this is a good little analysis for you guys, pro tip here. So basically going into yesterday morning, I noticed 2 days ago, we had a massive amount of selling going on at the lows, like from the point of control all the way into the value area low, just a massive amount of selling, but price didn't break any lower. So you got to think about who's on the other side of that. To me, that whole area from the point of control to the lows there was just getting bought big time, relentlessly by passive buyers. And then, so there was a ton of passive buying going on, right here. Now, it wasn't ready yet because aggressive buyers still need to come in to reverse that thing. And then this is what I look at as like a failed auction. You can see overnight we had some negative news that the market panic sold off from, but we never, look at this whole move down, we never really saw any big orders trigger, not that much, some down at the lows, right? And we took out those prior lows there, and then we immediately V-shape recovered over where all those big participants came in. So yesterday morning, I basically said, I'm basically super bullish, which is rare for me. I'm basically only looking to buy dips, and I was not fooled in the slightest by that pullback and seeing all that big selling and then seeing that failed auction. Look at the volume tail, not much volume transacted, came under those lows and then immediately recaptured back above these big participants that came in. So yesterday morning, I was watching this move down, and we saw on the tape just a lot of more passive buying the whole way down. And then look at that. As soon as that big buying came in, you know, I was scalping longs along this move up. But you can see we recaptured aggressively after this failed auction overnight, aggressively recaptured above all these big participants that came in the day prior. To me, that's a super bullish signal. And then on the pullback, massive aggressive buying came in again, right? And then obviously we knew the rest is history. No, I don't have deep DOM yet. Somebody asked in the chat. So that was the analysis yesterday. Now today, we pretty much closed at the high yesterday and saw, you know, a lot of balance action. Let's take a look at this. So we kind of closed, I'm still just looking at NQ here. Kind of closed at the high yesterday and just saw a lot of balanced action. And then extended that pretty much overnight. We failed to break down though. So again, similar to what I just talked about here going into yesterday, we tried to break that down again, failed, and now we have a low volume node there that also held, and now we're continuing to hold up here, right? So more selling up here, so far getting absorbed. So until proven otherwise, I first have to continue to look for failed dips to go long and target continuation at the highs. Like I said, if we shift that structure, then I'll possibly be open to scalping to the downside. But like I said, still long until proven otherwise. Make sense, guys? All right, so somebody asked, by the way, deep charts 1. So we're gonna go deep charts today. Here's my ES and NQ. I'll go over my settings here. You guys know the game plan already. So we're gonna watch the flows coming in here. Let me see. Here we go. No, come on. Here we go. All right, so you guys want to see my settings for this view. This is a 30-minute chart right now. I'll probably drop this down to a 15-minute to watch this a little more closely intraday here. Yeah, this is just such a good tool, guys. Such a good tool. Really simplifies things a lot. So let's go through my settings here if you guys want. So for that indicator specifically, the deep trades indicator, here are my settings for NQ. Just go through it. You guys can screenshot it, rewind it, whatever. Here's the data settings. The big thing is that I have the minimum order size set to 95 lots. This is something that you can, and this filter max could just be infinite. I don't know if that doesn't matter. Let's see. This could be adjusted depending on volume, depending on volatility, depending on if it's triggering too much, too little at non-key things. I haven't really played with this too much yet. I just went with my settings. Generally, like on my footprint charts and Bookmap, if an order on NQ hits that's bigger than like 90, 95 lots, that's something that catches my attention. So that's what I set that to there. And then my plot settings over here, you can see the standard deviation, minimum size, maximum size. That's for the bubbles that I have set here. Can't read it. So there's the data settings. Again, this is for NQ here. Market's about to open in just a minute. There's a plot settings. I think that's all I changed. Take a look at ES here. Big thing is I have it set for 150 lots. Again, that's just a general size where like if I see order come in bigger than that amount or bigger on ES on my footprint charts or Bookmap or whatever, it's going to catch my attention. It's going to tell me something. There's the plot settings. All right, there you go. And my volume profile settings, pretty much the same on both ES and NQ. Here's the deep volume profile indicator there. I'll just put this on here so you guys can go back and review. There's the general settings. There's the data settings. There's the plot settings. Point of control settings. Value area settings. Peak and valley. I don't think it changed too much of this stuff. Just the coloring basically to how I like it. Okay, that's my daily volume profiles. Value area high, value area low, point of control. Good morning, Billy. Welcome in. So we can see this as it develops today. You can see NQ's leading higher over here. Quite a bit of strength up into the highs here. ES still kind of inside the middle of the range, right around the point of control. NQ has just had a lot better volatility to trade, and we frequently go into these super choppy ranges. Now, I do like balanced ranges like this, and I do like fading them. It's one of my favorite setups. If you want to learn my exact framework for that setup, that video is dropping today on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, by the way. So couple areas like we talked about from the game plan, all these big orders came in here. This is a key spot. See this low volume node today here. We tried to auction under it, recaptured aggressively above. So that's just going to be a key spot here for me at the lows. Pretty much the same thing. Market's opening up here. Super strong buying right off the get-go, right out of the gate here on NQ. So let's watch to see if we get any pullbacks here. That hold, this thing is just ripping right out of the gate here. So I'd be looking at these highs where big orders came in down here as well. I might have just missed it. We just pulled back right there. Had my mouse over here, not on my order. I don't generally like to take trades in the first 5 minutes. I like to let it develop. It's a little unfortunate like this when we are basically playing the location like right off the opening bell. The other thing is we're having a kind of a direct divergence here between ES and NQ. So that is, ES is dropping right off the bell and NQ is pumping. NQ has been relatively strong. There are sectors within tech that are hot that has been giving relative strength to NQ. But we got that pullback right there. I missed it. Not chasing it. It's tough because when we do this on the first minute of the open, it could easily whip back. But we got the break of this range, pulled back right into the value area high there. And I did see some aggressive buying come in on my footprint chart. I would have liked to scalp that just into these highs. That would have been a great momentum setup just into the highs there. There was a lot of bids that supported that pullback on the heat map too. So we're going to see here if ES goes and breaks out these highs now too. NQ is just freaking ripping here ahead of ES. I would bet that ES follows here. NQ is just so damn strong. It's way stronger than ES is weak here, but you know, it could snap back. So my target on that breakout really was a breakout above 30,400. There is a large gamma level there, larger. So that was a major area of interest for me, was that 30,400, targeting a breakout into it. And we just kind of already hit that in the first freaking 90 seconds of the opening bell. So that's a little unfortunate. Yeah, I didn't take it. I loved, you guys see right there where we pulled back. That was the setup that I wanted. Strong momentum, breakout over this balance range above the value area high here, pull back right into where these big buyers came in before, held like to the freaking tick. Now big buying is coming in on ES. In this instance, I'm not necessarily, this could turn into absorption and it could reverse, but I'm looking at these big buyers as wanting to drive this breakout here first, right? Because the control is all in the buyer's court. Now it could get absorbed and it could roll back over, and that would be new information. But until proven otherwise, like I'm not trying to call a top here at all-time highs. Big buying coming in on ES now. Yeah, big time buying coming in on ES now. Get another pullback here on NQ. I feel weird. I feel so disoriented that my screens are now the opposite side. I don't know. I guess I'm a creature of habit. I feel like very disoriented here. Just changing my bookmap and deep chart screen left and right. So getting a pullback here on NQ. Big buying coming in on ES. If this pullback holds on NQ and this big buying keeps coming in on ES, then I would expect ES to break out as well. If NQ rolls back over inside this value area and ES does not break out with this big buying, then we could have another sharp pullback down towards the lows, or at least the middle of the range. Some bids are reappearing here on NQ. Some bids are reappearing here on NQ. Some bids are reappearing. See if we pull back again and hold. Show you what I just saw here. I hesitated again. I feel like disoriented here. So on that pullback here to that value area high, right there, the same freaking location again. Look at this. Bam, passive buyer bought it. Bam, passive buyer reloaded. That was a long entry confirmation right there. Given the fact that we got this momentum breaking out, ES, big buying coming in, NQ, big buying coming in, breaking out over the value area high, pullback holding, and then bids defending. Passive buyers defending that pullback. This thing's gonna blast through the roof. Not financial advice, I don't know, it could pull back and roll over if we get back in the value area high, but that's a bigger lift. I didn't mention, important to note that could flip this thing is news at Chicago PMI in 9 minutes now. I was hoping to catch this breakout with this momentum in the first 5 minutes or so here, and it kind of just went without me a little bit, which is unfortunate. I'm looking for a pullback, but the problem is we're 9 minutes now from the Chicago PMI news, which could accelerate this thing and blast it, or it could roll back over. But I like this area now. Now ES is showing us it is in fact breaking out with big buying. We'll see if we continue to hold this. Ideally, we get a little pullback here, especially after the news that holds. But unfortunately, like we've already held this zone and we've already hit my target on that setup. That was my A+ setup going into today. Based on, oops, forgot it. That was my A+ setup going into today, and it's already played here in like the first 7 minutes of the market being open, and target's already kind of hit. So, son of a gun. Yeah, this is simply a momentum breakout and retest above a balance area at all-time highs. There's a ton of momentum to the upside in the market right now after the Iran peace agreement announced yesterday. It's just no shorts allowed right now. And that was like, this was my #1 setup for this morning, was this strong breakout of this range, pullback holds. You can see the value area shifted slightly now, but I'm still watching this whole area. And if we look at the volume profile here where this aggressive buying came in, there's some low volume valleys, kind of like a low volume node here. And here, which is just like right in that zone as well. Yeah, TradeZella, guys, check it out if you guys haven't already. By the way, huge new update with Zella AI on TradeZella, and we're going to have a TradeZella account giveaway today as well. If you're sleeping on that, you are missing out. That's all I'm going to say. So we got a couple minutes till the news here, guys. Let me know if you guys have questions in the chat. I'm probably going to sit on my hands here as bad as I freaking want to be in this thing long. We got a pullback to this zone, but unfortunately I was blabbing my mouth and missed the entry myself. But I'm still watching this zone. It played so quick this morning. I generally have kind of a soft rule of thumb. I don't like to enter trades in the first 5 minutes. I like to let that develop. It's just too much of a gamble. It just played right off the get-go here today, and I was a little hesitant to just run with it off the first couple minutes here. But it played. Damn it, it played. So I'm still watching this zone. If we can get a quick little pullback after the news. If it just blasts off here without any kind of pullback, I don't have much to do, unfortunately. Yeah, we got 5 minutes till Chicago PMI news. Hang on, plug your ears. Cheers. All right. Let's see what's going on here. We're going to get some kind of a pullback or something after this news, guys. Did anybody use that analysis? Did that analysis at least help you off this 9:30 open here? Let me know in the chat. Yonasun caught it. Heck yeah. Yep. The next setup will come. This thing is just freaking ripping. I am feeling the FOMOs, guys. I am feeling the FOMOs. Because this break of this value area at the top of this balance range was my top plan. And you guys said once I saw that aggressive buying coming in this instance, I'm not viewing that as absorption. You got to understand the context. That's big buyers going for the blast off. It's so important to understand the context of what's going on in the market and not just trying to blindly execute off an indicator. Why does price bounce when a low volume node, does this happen because of sentiment, the repetition of the event, or a technical reason that you can explain? Yes, that's a great question. Low volume nodes often form intraday and on the daily volume profile around areas where you see fair value gaps form on candle chart structures, at least fair value gaps that actually mean something, because not all of them do mean something. And what it is, it's just, you got to understand from a conceptual basis, the market is always going through areas of balance and imbalance, right? Balance is areas where buyers and sellers agree on price, and their price is basically oscillating within a range because the market is an auction, buyers and sellers agree on price, and the middle of that range acts as a magnet to price. Then when one side gets significantly more aggressive, say news comes out or something technical occurs, big players, one side gets more aggressive, price aggressively moves quickly out of that range because there's way more aggressive participants on one side or the other. When that happens, there is typically a lower volume area that forms because price moves so quickly. There's not much time transacted there. There's not much volume transacted there overall. And so when price pulls back, if price pulls back into those areas, you often, if that strong momentum trend is going to continue, you're often going to see buyers or sellers defend that location, or they're going, you think about it this way, price moves so quickly through that level, one side became so aggressive, when it pulls back there, people that didn't get the opportunity to buy there and they see that price basically, like, think of it as at a discount again, that's their opportunity to buy, bam, they're going back in again. Now on the flip side, if price aggressively rips through there and pulls back in and it doesn't get defended and then it recaptures below, that's a signal that that momentum that drove that breakout has shifted and it has lost steam. So in the example today, like we talked about, this area, the market was balanced here, right? Let's zoom in on this with the daily, right? So the market was balanced in this range, and then price became imbalanced. There was significantly more aggressive buying. There was more aggressive buyers than there was passive sellers at that price to absorb them, right? So in order to facilitate transactions, if there's more aggressive buyers, price has to move higher and higher to reach passive sellers to fill those orders. So when that happens, price moves very quickly, and we see these low volume valleys, sometimes called low volume nodes, where price moves super quickly. And if we pull back into that in the near term and that momentum is still strong, more aggressive buyers are going to step in, because everybody that didn't get to buy here, they're like, this is my chance. Now let me buy. That happens on like a daily basis. And then, if we were to literally draw like a volume profile, I guarantee you we'd see something similar just on these candles here. Can I do that on deep charts? I haven't done this yet. Is this one it? Yeah, let's draw this. I've never done this before on deep charts. All right, so let's look at this. Yeah, so see, especially here, see these low volume little areas? Price surged quickly out of these areas here. Here, here, here. Especially down here, you see where it's really low. And look at the low of, and that's generally in this zone that I marked here. And here as well. So on a micro structure, just looking at these past few 15-minute candles, see where price aggressively moved out of there? So some aggressive selling came in right here, couldn't get price any lower. So passive buyers absorbed this big selling, and then aggressive buyers came in, and see that low volume area there? If price were to pull back in there, and maybe it did within this 15-minute candle, I don't know, then aggressive buyers would have wanted to step back in there again, right? That's just a micro example here, just drawing that volume profile. Get rid of that. Does that make sense and answer your question there? Gord funded. This thing is just freaking ripping. So the news came out. We didn't really get any kind of pullback that I was looking for. Just to the moon. Yeah, it pulled back a little bit, but not to like a key location that I was personally looking for. So it's unfortunate. How would you update your plan? Really, nothing's changed. I'm just watching for a decent pullback to get in. We had some big buying come in here. Now this could be an area to watch where these big buyers came in and sellers got absorbed here just above the value area. I'm going to be honest, guys. Sometimes these days occur and price just absolutely smokes one direction. If, you know, I'm not able to capitalize on it earlier, then, excuse me, sometimes it's just, I don't catch a trade then. Just because the market's moving doesn't necessarily mean you have a trade set up. I did have a trade set up. I just didn't catch it. It happened quickly right off the opening bell and basically never gave another chance for me. Low volume node. Yeah, so Yonasun asked, when it breaks out like this, I'm looking for a pullback with a area where there's big buyers, big participants, a low volume node, some kind of a technical area. And ideally, I see more big participants getting involved. And just looking at my 20 EMA here, zooming out, looking at my 20 EMA here tied to my footprint chart, you can see how strong the trend is. The 20 EMA, especially this tied to my footprint chart, is a really good indicator of near-term control and momentum in the market. Some big buy orders just came in here up at this 7,600 area on ES. Looking at the heat map, there's still some big orders up here around 30,500 and 30,495 on NQ. Yeah, Benji, I agree. Most traders struggle with patience. A lot of traders know, especially after a certain amount of time reading the charts and stuff, you know when good trades form. You know what it looks like. You just have like, right? Especially if you have a strategy that you've spent some time learning, right? People know how to take good trades, but then the problem is often they don't know how to be patient and not take bad trades. And that holds people back. And then that derails them further, because then once they get in the cycle of taking a lot of bad trades that they know they were just stupid losses that you shouldn't have taken to begin with. Then when good trades do come along, you either hesitate on them and miss them because you're afraid of the mistakes that you made that were mistakes that you should have avoided to begin with. Or once those do come, then you cut your wins too quickly because you see a little bit of green and you're trying to just get your head back above water and make back some of the losses, and then you don't hold them to your targets and you cut your winners short. And then you get in this nasty cycle of taking bad trades, unnecessary paper cuts, losses, and then you hesitate on good trades. And then when you do catch a good trade, then you cut it too short because you were afraid because you know, you're riddled with unnecessary losses. This thing is just freaking blasting. Well, it was a good trade plan today. Looking for this breakout. It was a good game plan. Really good game plan that we watched just blast off right off the opening bell. No pullbacks allowed. Trade with J-Rock. Sounds like you're talking to me. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. And honestly, I've been through that myself. And I think most good traders have. Big buying coming in up here at the highs on ES, but price still just moving. See, here's another thing, right? Benji, yeah, a big thing is just tracking your data, tracking your mistakes, and just a lot of people keep repeating the same mistakes again and again because they're not really tracking it and reviewing it enough, right? And they just are doomed to just keep on repeating it. I really like the book, The Mental Game of Trading. Actually, Chart Fanatics did a video with the author, Jared Tendler, which was really good as well. And just learning to track and identify those mistakes leading up to those blow-ups, leading up to those things, and catching it early before, you know, you just go into caveman brain mode. So a lot of people will miss this move and be frustrated that they didn't get a piece of this. And then they'll then flip to looking at the first sign of absorption or something to just fade it and go against it, wanting to catch a home run reversal back down because they're frustrated that they miss it. And then for some reason, there's this weird thing that happens in our brains that it's like, I missed this. And now it's almost like you're mad that you missed it. So now you start trying to fade it and start trying to go against it. And that like is how you compound mistakes. So you have to always be self-aware of that and make sure you're not going against momentum and trying to fight something just because you missed it. And you may not even be consciously thinking that, like, oh, I missed it now. But it's like you feel like you missed an opportunity that you should have capitalized on. So you then like start accepting lower and lower quality things because you are wanting results like now. And that's a super dangerous place to find yourself. Yeah, never step in front of the freight train. If you miss the train that's blasting that way, just pause, sit back. Don't try to jump on the moving train at full speed. Don't try to step in front of the train to fade it. You just sit back, take a seat, and wait for the next train stop. Yeah, just in these market conditions, we'll have people just full porting longs every day, no stop. Take profit or margin call. Let's go. not advice. Billy Stylist asked, how do you keep your cool even after 4 to 5 back-to-back losses? Well, you always need to start everything with a foundation of risk management. Max loss per trade, max loss per day. Now, personally, for me, 3-4 losses back-to-back is just to call it a day, hang up my hat and come back another day. But you need to define, based on your data, based on your setups, what works for you, what that is for you. Often before that occurs, if I take like 1 or 2 losses or break evens, I try to disrupt that cycle of like revenge trading. Go touch grass, take a break from the screens, even for like 30 seconds or a minute. Do something to disrupt yourself from just like going on autopilot for a revenge trade or something like that, especially if you know that's a problem for you. So you need a process in place where, you know, you take a punch in the face. Maybe you're not done for the day. You're not max loss on the day, but your emotional equilibrium has been disrupted. And so you need to stop that before you start making impulsive, irrational decisions. So, you know, have something set, and you can maybe like write those notes down on a sticky note on your desk to remind yourself. And then, you know, have a desk timer or something like this that you set, you know, every 15 minutes or something to go off and just emotional check. Are you still following the game plan, right? Break yourself out of that. Reset it every 10 or 15 minutes, you know, and then don't overextend yourself, right? Have, you know, a 60 to 90 minute window where you're focused and executing good decisions, and then take a break. Don't, like, a lot of times people try to force themselves to execute trades from early in the morning all the way until the end of the day. And the quality of decision making just gets lower and lower and lower. And yeah, you have to start from a foundation of risk management and discipline, and patience. And a lot of people may have talent and skill, but I'm telling you, talent and skill is not enough in this game. You can have an extreme amount of talent and extreme amount of skill at discretionary trading, but you will never be successful if you are always at risk of the next blow up, because you don't master those foundations. So yeah, you need skill, you need talent, but at the same time, that alone is not enough. You also need a foundation of very strong risk management and discipline and patience. And that's part of the reason why this game is so hard too in trading, because unless you have all these different facets mastered, you're not making money, right? And so it's like you fix one thing, but you have struggles with other things, like whether it's emotions, technical edge in the market at all, different things. And there's a lot of different aspects to it. And unless it's all clicking, you're not going to make money consistently. You have to really master a lot of different aspects. Yeah, less trades is more for most people. I would highly recommend, whether you trade personal account or prop firm, whatever, have hard limits set on your broker that you can't exceed. So you can do some things to outsource that decision making for you a little bit. So in the heat of the moment, that kind of, at least your max loss decision making is out of your hands. You don't have to make that decision. You have a hard limit set for your risk per trade and loss limit on the day. So just at the highs here, market's just going up. Personally, just kind of sitting on my hands here. as bad as I wanted to be in this move. So let's see what we would watch for here. There's a lot of big buying came in up here at the highs on ES. Some big buying came in here. I'm gonna zoom out and see what catches my attention. There's just, you know, this is tough. Like if I zoom out even here on Bookmap, you know, it's just zero pullback. So unfortunately for me, you know, I don't just chase that. You had this one little dip there, but it wasn't at like a key area or anything for me personally. But it's just been literal vertical line here. So let's see if I see anything here, like get some kind of an idea if we do get a quick sweep back. So here's something a little interesting to me here. Down here, see this lower volume area there? Oh, that's at that 945. So that's a little interesting to me down there. And there was also a bid that reloaded there as well. That's an interesting spot there as well. And then obviously if we sweep back through these kind of resting orders, and if we see more pop up, then that would be something to watch for. So we're getting a little bit of a pullback here now. And that is down here around this last big order that came in. It's quite extended already, so it's a little difficult. A little bit of a pullback there. Let's drop this down a little bit more intraday. See a lot of big orders here on ES. Tape is thinner here on this extended move, so like that 95 lot thing on NQ is not going to trigger so much. Yeah, 7,600 is a spot there to watch as well. I like that. Somebody called that out in the chat there, Blair. I do like that as well. So that's a pretty nice low volume node area around there, as well as value area high now, as well as just under that we had this big passive buyer that absorbed these sellers there. I do like that as well. Getting a little deeper pullback here now on NQ at least. If we come back here down towards these like 80s to 70s at least, it'd be interesting. Little data lag there. Yeah, so we have a little bit of a low volume area here that we just kind of pulled back into. Not super key, but there's that little low volume area here, just under this last kind of high volume node-ish. You have these bigger buyers that came in under there. I like this a little better, like down here. At least value area high down there, kind of retest under where these big buyers came in. There's a little bit of a low volume node down here. What is that, around 3470? Yeah, 3470, 3480. If we see a little pullback in there where we see something meaningful, there are some big bids sitting down there around 3480. But again, our market's already got so extended here in the first 30 minutes, I find it a little tough to chase it. So starting to get a little bit more of a meaningful pullback. Some selling just came in there on ES. I'd watch that if that gets absorbed. Yeah, some bigger selling just came in there on ES. I'd watch that if that gets absorbed by a passive buyer and holds. More selling coming in here on NQ. Pulling back a little bit more towards that 70 area now, which is also that value area high area. So I'd watch this pullback here. It's kind of a surge of negative delta into this zone here. Pulling back a little bit. See if it pulls back a little more here. My data just froze. All my data just froze across the board. Whoa. All right, pause, hang on. My rhythmic data froze, my DX feed data froze, everything froze and the market dumped. So that was a red flag. Heads up. Big sweep back lower here. Now we're coming back towards that area down here that we marked. This is a more interesting pullback now. More interesting pullback here now. Came down just under that 70 area that I mentioned on NQ. Now some aggressive buying is stepping in. Now I'm seeing if there's a pullback that holds with more bids. There's another bid stepping in around 34.54. I'm watching if it fills, if price pulls back. Recapturing above that value area high now, above that 70 level. Yeah, I like this if we pull back one more time and I see bids defend again. There's a lot of bids stacked up around 34.55. Yeah, I like that 34.55 area. Is it just going to go straight V-shape back up again? That's unfortunate. Big buying coming in now. Yeah, I would bet it keeps going from here, but I'm not chasing it. Didn't see something that I like to enter on, and then it just kind of shot straight back up. I was waiting for one more pullback where I saw bids defend. See if it pulls back now. Point of control shifted up here on ES. That's how much volume is going on up here on ES. Kind of watching this area around 470, which was what we initially marked where that little low volume area is, back down to 34.55. If I see a pullback hold there where bids fill, it's pulling back now. Pulling back. There's a big bid sitting at 34.55. Kind of want to see if it fills, if it sweeps down into there. It's testing right now. Filled. See the reaction here. Pulling through it. Didn't hold. More aggressive selling stepping in. We took out that prior low there. Now we're in that zone where those big buyers were before. Watching this here. This is that zone where these big buyers were before now. I like how this aggressive buying is coming in now. There is some aggressive buying coming in on the tape. See if it starts to get rewarded. Oh, my data froze again. Across the board, everything froze. What the heck? Did the stream freeze? I'm looking at Bookmap over here as well. Some bids coming in down here. See, that's the bids that I was saying right there. Still selling off, still selling off. The passive buying is there. I'm seeing passive buyers on the bids here, but I want to see some aggressive buying come in. There's some more aggressive buying coming in. Started to see it pop a little bit. Not too much size just yet. And offers reloaded immediately. Yeah, I want to see bigger size green bubbles stepping in here. I want to see some bigger size green bubbles stepping in. Wow. There was a big order right there that filled. I like that bigger selling order now. I like that bigger selling order. Starting to see some aggressive buying coming in. Starting to see more bids coming in. Tried that long here. And at 409, let's have a stop just under around 401 there. If we sweep back to 400, we could sweep aggressively lower. I'm gonna trail my stop break even here. If it sweeps back towards 400, I'll re-enter. Trail my stop just a couple ticks above my entry here at 410, 411. Would like to see us recapture back above this zone, above 30s to 40s. Back up towards the highs. Some big aggressive buying coming in now. I don't want to see this get absorbed and roll over. Yeah, it stopped me out. Break even there. I'm watching this pullback to see if it holds. Whoa. We're coming all the way back towards this original low volume breakout, slow volume node breakout. All right, so I'm watching to see if 400 holds again here. More coming in. More coming in. Re-entered at 404. I'm gonna have a stop just under 400 here. Very tight. Want to see it go very aggressively back to the upside now. It's trailing my stop break even to 4, or just above break even at 405 now. I want to see us break some prior highs with some big aggressive buying. Otherwise, I'm just going to stop break even again. There's a nice break. Taking half off here. Just on the break of that prior high, taking half off. It's about 25 points there. The other half I'm holding. Would like to see us move back up towards the highs now. Back up above this value area high. Don't love how it's stalling out here, but I'm just gonna let it breathe a little bit. I got a good entry. Entry is affording me the opportunity to let it breathe here for a bigger move. But if it rolls back over, it's gonna be break even. Again, I already took half profit for about 25 points there. Nothing crazy, but yeah, it's rolling back over. About to stop me break even at 405. Oh, it's popping again. You guys will not believe how close that was to stopping me out break even. Literally like a tick away there. I can't even make that up. See the red line is my stop order here. That was my first take profit. Now we're going back above. Literally came like a tick or two from my break-even stop there. Oh man. I would like to see us get back above these highs aggressively. There's a lot of buying coming in now. I don't want this to roll back over. I'm gonna boost my stop up here now. I don't want to break these highs and sweep back. Let me let it breathe. I already took half profit. Let me just let it breathe. Yeah, I don't like that aggressive selling coming in again at those highs after it tried to break over those prior highs. Don't love how it's rolling back over again. It's just not sustaining that upside move. Got me. All right, well, that sucks. Still watching this pullback here. It's not really invalid. I'm just not willing to hold it for a loss. So we'll see if this pullback holds a little bit more here. More aggressive buying. Swept just under that 400 area again, and more aggressive buying coming in. Bro's asking for giveaways while I'm trying to actively take a trade and manage a trade right now. All right, let's see if we pull back and see if we continue to hold this 400 area. If it breaks and holds under, not going to love that so much. I'm watching this zone though here. If we do dip back into that, whoa, there's some big selling all the way back. Look at how this thing has rolled over. So there's a lot going on here on the heat map. Some big orders down here. Some buying coming in here. More bids appearing on the heat map there. They just filled. Those bids just filled there. There's more down here. More aggressive buying coming in, shifting the structure back to the upside here. A little bit of this micro structure right here. Wow, look at that. Wow, wow. There's some big, that's that big bid down here at those. This thing has completely rolled over this move. Not ideal. Some big buying came in right there where I was watching, and it completely rolled over. Jeez. So we're back in this original area where we broke out now. It's quite a rollover. Some of that bigger bid looked like it pulled there. Some aggressive buying slamming in there though. Pretty aggressive buying coming in there. After that bid filled down there at that 33.50 area, some pretty aggressive buying. Quick little pullback there. What I'm interested in is if we get back above this zone now, It's not as great a quality because of how much of this move that's been given back. But if we get back above this zone now and then pull back, I'm going to be interested. If we get back above this zone where these big buyers were that have clearly defended, then I'm going to be interested. There's the seller here. That we could pull back off of. Yeah, you can see we're running back from him a little bit. What I don't love is just how it's back in the middle of the range here. But nonetheless, still got to watch. This is where we originally broke out this morning with these big aggressive buyers. And we saw big passive buyers step in again. So if we can pull back and we hold now, here's another aggressive pullback, then I might be interested. Just for a quick scalp, guys. I'm not trying to call like a next high of day breakout from here. That wasn't really enough of a pullback with confirmation for me. But I'm looking at the top of the zone where we did just pull back to. I just didn't quite see enough there. That made me click buy. Quick little pullback there did hold though. Same spot where that big order came in over here. Dang. Well, we got back above that zone. We did pull back and hold. See if we get another pullback that holds above this zone. If we get back into this zone very much, not interested. I want to see immediate strength from buyers hold above this zone. Let me get rid of some of this stuff here now. This was this original zone we were watching for a pullback this morning. We got under it, quickly, aggressively recaptured it. More big aggressive buying came in there. So, still interested in that. Talking really what I would want to see hold now is this area. If we see a pullback with some kind of big orders come in there, be interesting. Gord Funded said, I'm sweating even though you have no trade entry. Yeah, I'm still looking to scalp. If we get a pullback here, I'm still looking for aggressive buyers to step in. Get a nice pump back to the upside here, back towards the value area high. Just because we're still holding this key zone that I originally talked about this morning. Came back. I don't love how we got so high up here and rolled all the way back over. But again, like unless we break back under this zone here, that was like the key spot that I wanted to see buyers hold. We dipped under it, but you can just see it just a wick that aggressively recaptured quickly by aggressive buying. So pulling back down here now. Some selling into it. A little bit of buying stepping in. More selling stepping in. Bids reappearing there. Starting to see those bids reappear there. If we see some aggressive buying, I'm in. I'm in at 98, looking for those prior highs to break out. In at 98, looking for those prior highs to break out. Stops trailed to break even there. I like the recapture of 4,000, or sorry, 3,400 there as well. Would love to see this break those prior highs back above 3430s. If it sweeps back, break even stop is in place at 98.75. I like how those bids stepped in there. There we go. There's some nice aggressive buying coming in. Not giving this back. Let's go. Just trailing my stop. When it rolls back over, we're already at my target here. I'm going to let it breathe if it wants to keep blasting. Just going to keep trailing my stop as we go. If it rolls back over, that's fine. It's already at my target, but I'm letting it go if it wants to keep rocking and rolling. All right, I'm out. I let it breathe in case it wanted to just kept blasting. Made about 600 bucks there on that one. A few hundred on the last one. So what I was waiting for here, I said this buying was coming, this buying was coming. As soon as we broke these prior highs, as soon as that aggressive buying came in and we started breaking those prior highs, bam, I instantly went long. Because I was seeing the selling dwindle off here, bid stepping in, weaker, weaker. Look at that bid that stepped in right there. As soon as that aggressive selling came in, instant long. That was also around VWAP. And I was just looking for a surge back into those prior highs. So at the same moment here, if we look at, and this rolled all the way back over. So I don't love that. So we had that aggressive selling there, aggressive selling there. Oops. Here, bid held, bid held. With the context, guys, this was not a random location. It was right here where we wanted to see these buyers defend. I'm not just looking to look for this anywhere. It's specifically right here. Do you see that? We dipped back under my original entry there. It's still holding, so it's still valid until broken. I'm still watching it. I didn't re-enter there because I was watching. Or I was explaining with you guys. But see the context here? This was the original highs breakout. We saw big buyers defend here. I'm looking for them to defend here. It's not a random location. I'm just looking to take a scalp off of it though, back into those highs. And you guys saw how once we broke those prior highs, I just trailed my stop. If it rolls back over, that's cool. I'll just take profit. But again, you don't want to just look at Bookmap, look at a footprint chart, whatever, at a random location. There's been repeated big buying here, defend. Like this is a key location that bulls need to hold. And I'm just taking a base hit off of it. We're kind of aggressively getting back down under here. I would have wanted to see this hold more aggressively now. I don't love that. Yeah, I'm not taking that again. It might sweep back down here and hold, but no. I wanted to see this hold and keep going. It's getting a little bit possibly invalidated now. We'll see if this closes back above here, but it's getting a little messy now. I would have wanted to ideally see this hold where these big buyers came in, and maybe we'll recapture quickly back above them here, but I wanted to see this beat a low and us keep holding. It's getting a little choppy here now. But again, that's why I like scalping, because I don't need to be right for very long. I'll just, if it turns into a huge move, cool. I'll keep trailing, because it was a good location. And if we go all the way back to the highs, I'll keep pushing my target order, keep trailing my stop. Sometimes that happens. But once I'm up over those prior highs, 20, 30 points, I'll just take the base hit. I was only risking, like 7 points there for, I got in from 398 to 427. So like 29 points there, and I was risking like 7. So 3R, 4R, even on a base hit scalp. That's all you need. All right, questions in the chat, guys. I'm gonna sit back and chill here, guys. Sorry, I got a little in the zone there watching that and trying to explain that to you guys. Unfortunately, did not get the bigger move back to the upside when I took the entry there. We rolled back over, but that's okay. That's why I have, a profit management plan. Initial target, then trail. That's fine. Let's run the giveaways. Giveaways in the chat, in the Discord, Chart Fanatics Discord. We ready, Anthony? Yeah, we're kind of, I don't like how we took out those prior highs and rolled completely back over here. And you can see sellers now close this bar under here. I'm not loving that structure so much. I want it really, for this to be a cleaner defense from these buyers, I really wanted to see this zone hold and us continue back up to the highs. Didn't, that's all good. Caught a piece with a scalp, and now it's a little choppy here. All right, so the giveaways has started in the Chart Fanatics live Discord. This thing's kind of rolling back over now quite a lot. Don't love that. Don't love that for buyers. So head over to the giveaways channel in the Chart Fanatics Discord and smash the button, the celebrate button there if you want to be entered for the giveaways here. We've got 3 winners, 1 Apex Trader Funding, 1 Alpha Capital, and 1 6-month TradeZella subscription. That's huge, guys. Big lesson from these scalps that you guys saw me take today is you can have good entries and good locations, and then just have a good trade management and risk management plan, and you can still make money and be wrong on the overall reversal just by having a good risk management plan, good trade management plan. You can still be wrong on a longer term move and still make money. And still make good money. 3R, 4R on a trade setup is still good. It's all about just risk management, good trade management with good confluences. All right, still open. Smash that button if you want to be entered. Again, I'm in the Chart Fanatics Discord here. Head over to the Chart Fanatics Discord and smash this little button right here in the giveaways channel. Holy. I just looked at ES. ES came all the way down to the lows too. Value area low. Some big. This is, you know, again, this is a key spot to the downside. We were looking for a potential bottom reversal this morning if price pulled back. Wow. Did I don't have my news up, but did some news come out? Or is this just a pure technical sell-off? Trump administration is expected to propose a change to the U.S. Mexico-Canada agreement that would require half the components, materials, and automobile to come from the U.S. sources. So it looks like the news that I'm seeing is possibly some renegotiations of tariff stuff. Our old friend, the tariff news. I thought we were past that now. I'm guessing, you know, I have the YouTube stream up here on this page that I normally have my news stuff coming up. Oh, there's some big buying that just stepped in aggressively. I'm guessing that news about renegotiation of some tariff stuff, which was not, I was not paying attention to that, is triggering this sell-off. Because that was quite a rug pull of selling. But nonetheless, you know, the market can oftentimes just panic react to things like that, not really shift any kind of meaningful structure overall in the higher time frame here. Unless it does, then that would be new information. But now we're coming into key areas here from the downside that we'd want to see. I honestly was not expecting to revisit these areas today after this morning. There's that low volume node at the lows just under the value area low. This was my game plan this morning, was to buy dips around this location here. If we dipped back, there's some big buying just stepped in right there. All right, so the giveaways channel is closed. Sorry, I'm looking at the charts here, guys, because I'm looking at this location down here at these lows. If we break through it, that would be crazy. If we get a pretty aggressive bounce off of it, that would be a little bit more expected. ES is ES is really getting aggressive down there. Now some big buying just stepped in at the lows on ES there. Some big buying just stepped in right at the lows on ES there. NQ, looking at this big buying that came in here. If we recapture that a little bit and hold back above 3,300, pullback holds, that'd be more interesting here for a shot back up into the middle of this range scalp. I like how this panic sell-off came all the way down to these lows. If we see this big buying hold, start to shift it, hold a pullback, that might be more interesting for kind of a mean reversion back towards the point of controls in the middle of the range. Was not really planning for this setup today, but that's what I'm seeing here. If we break under here, obviously that would be crazy, and I'm going to invalidate that. It's important though for this kind of setup. So by the way, check the announcements in the Chart Fanatics Discord for the giveaways. Okay, so now some aggressive buying is coming in back over this guy here. Trying to pull back here a little bit. bid stepped in right there on that pullback. The bid stepped in right there on that pullback. I want to see more aggressive buying step in here. More aggressive buying stepped in. I'm in this. Like that aggressive buying that stepped in on the recapture there. I'm in at 96. Going to trail my stop. I'm looking for this to shoot back up into the mean with that aggressive buying. I will stop break even here at 96 if it rolls back over. I'm going to take half profit here just to pad it. I'm looking at these prior lows here. I already caught a nice chunk there. So I'm just going to pad it. I'm looking at these prior lows. I would like to see the second half shoot back up towards 33.40. Middle of the range here. Again, my stop's trailed. I'm going to push my stop to 299, a few points in profit. If it sweeps back under 300, it's likely going to roll back over. I want to see the aggressive buying carry back up to towards the middle of this range here. There we go. I'm going to boost my stop to that low that just formed at 305. You know, I don't care if it rolls back over. I'm just going to take a few points of profit here. Some aggressive selling just hit there. So yeah, stopped me taking it off. That's okay. That big selling came in. So I you know, got about, I don't know, 15 points and then 7 points there on that second piece. I will watch it if it pulls back down towards these lows again. I will watch it to re-enter here. I just wasn't willing to give it all back because that would have stopped me break even there anyway. So I just took it off for a few points, cover my fees. Oh, some big buying just stepped in now. See that? Heads up. Ah, man, I didn't have my finger on the trigger. I would have bought immediately when I saw that big buying come in. Mother pearl. Let's see if it pulls back here. Did you see that big buying that stepped in right there? Dang it. I was waiting for it to pull back right here where these big buyers came in at that value area low. By the way, guys, this setup that I'm trying to trade right now, I already caught a nice scalp off of it, is the exact setup that I'm sharing in the YouTube video that I'm dropping today at noon. So go check out my YouTube channel if you want the exact framework for this trade setup that I'm literally trading right now. That I caught one scalp off of it. I'm looking for a pullback here. If it does hold, I would like to see us shoot back up towards the middle here. If we break down the lows here, though, that will be invalid and I will no longer try to trade it. There's some big bids. What the? Did I call it or what, guys? It freaking didn't pull back for my entry, but did I call it or what? There it is, right into the middle. That was the target. That's no coincidence. I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of if it pulled back to give me another entry. If you want to know that framework, check out the video on YouTube that's dropping tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, today at noon. Come on, man. I was trying to get back in it if it pulled back a little bit and it freaking didn't. That's okay. That's all right. Oh boy. All of my trades, nice base hit scalps day, but every time just missed the bigger move. It's okay. Just racking up the base hits. So cannot make this up. Called it in real time. Now, will we shoot all the way back up to the highs? Maybe, I don't know, but this is super high probability. Once we see a balance form like this, the value area low, a low volume node under it, and we see big buying come in there on the break of those lows, highly probable we're going back to the middle here. Look at that. You can't make that up. Real time, guys, here on Chart Fanatics Live for you. Anybody catch that? I was trying to get the re-entry. Unfortunately, it swept me out for my trailed take profit. I still made money on it, but unfortunate. So that explosive move back to the middle is usually what I like to see quickly on this setup. That's what I was looking for on my first entry. I was looking for it to pull back, for it to do exactly that. Nice. Gord, catch it. W in the chat if you caught it. No freaking coincidence, guys. Jay Seal said he caught the whole move. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how the news is not random. They managed to drop it at these key spots that we see on technical analysis before. Yeah, if you guys like, I couldn't have planned this to be better than this. If you want the exact framework of this trade setup, of how we just went from these lows to this middle, check out the YouTube video that's dropping at noon on my channel for free. Literally can't make that up, guys. Now, unfortunately, this time my trail take profit hit before the bigger move, but that's okay. That's just how it goes. Sometimes you catch the whole piece, sometimes you catch a piece. Yeah, super low risk, super huge profit. Super high risk versus reward, even in, you know, an otherwise choppy market here up and down. Super asymmetric and pretty high win rate. All right, guys, I think that's going to be a wrap for me. I kind of busted out a few scalps today, making some good money despite undercapitalizing on some of the bigger moves. That's okay. That's just how the cards fall sometimes. It's just part of the game. So I will see you guys here next Friday on, as always, on Chart Fanatics Live. Hope you guys learned something today. Hope you guys caught a good move. Hopefully this analysis helped you today. We had some really, really sharp trade setups today. Lots of good moves. Yeah, I'm personally, you know, I've already taken a few scalps. I've already padded a good amount of profit today on a few scalps. So I'm good. We're back in the middle of this range here. I don't love, so like once we form a day like this, you know, I love that setup there that we just played. So first of all, you know, I loved the earlier momentum in the day, break and hold that zone. I loved that for the momentum into the highs. Rolled all the way back over into this low volume node. Then once that forms, I love this trade setup back to the middle. But inside this here, especially getting later in the day on a Friday, is like a don't touch it zone. How to claim the giveaways. If you won the giveaway, go to the Chart Fanatics Discord. And our winners today are Aksha, Verma, Keshav, and Wilson Singh. Head over to the channel under the support channel and claim it there. I'm literally reading the instructions in here. So congratulations to those winners. Hope you guys learned something today. Make sure if you want more information on exactly what we talked about today, check out the YouTube channel I have in the description of the live stream today if you'd like to see that. Also have a lot of information coming out on Chart Academy soon. Make sure you guys are signed up for that. Team, if we could drop that in the chat as well for people. Chart Academy is going to be a great new resource for everyone as well for free education. So check that out. Thanks, team. All right. Have a good one, guys. Hopefully you learned something. This analysis helps you. I'll see you guys back here next Friday, as always. Peace.